Hey, what's up YouTube friends? I hope you're all having a great time. Today I'm here to show you how to jailbreak your iPhone devices, whether you're on the latest version of iOS 14.2, which is current right now, using Checkra1n version 0.12.0. So with that said, let's get started. Alright guys, it's important to note that this method only works for iPhone X and earlier models, okay? That means it works from iPhone 5 and up, but only up to the X at most. It also includes the 8 Plus, 8 and 7. In the description of this video, I'll leave a list so you can see which devices this will work on and which ones it won't, okay? So we can get started. For this, we're going to need a phone that we want to jailbreak. In this case, I have an iPhone 6s, a USB to Lightning cable. We'll also need a USB flash drive and a computer, alright? Preferably an Intel, though it also works with AMD, but Intel is recommended. Once you have all of this, we can move forward on our computer. As you can see, we're going to need to download two small files. One will be Rufus, which is an application. The links can be found here in the description of this video. And we'll also need to download the ISO, which we're going to flash onto our USB using Rufus. This will be Checkra1n version 0.12.0 of the well-known boot train. I'd like to remind you that I'll be updating all these links. If a new version of Checkra1n or boot train comes out, I'll leave it in the video description so you can stay up to date, because sometimes things change and with new updates, the previous versions might not work. In this case, with the beta of what's 14.13, it's not working. It only works for version 14.2 with this version 0.12.0 of Checkra1n. Okay, so now let's open Rufus once it's downloaded and installed, or whatever we need to do. We're going to right click and run as administrator. We'll click yes and the application will open. We're going to click where it says select and a window will pop up. We're going to look for the ISO we downloaded from boot train, in this case the latest version. I have version 10.2 here, but I'll leave you version 12.0, okay? Since this was recorded much earlier, but the installation steps are exactly the same. Now we're going to connect our USB drive to the computer that we're going to flash with Rufus. In this case, it can be a 2 GB drive or even a 1 GB one will work. In my case, I have this 32 GB one. As you can see, once it's connected and recognized, Rufus reads it at the top of the program. We're also going to erase everything on the drive. Just in case, we'll delete everything. And once we've done that, we go back to the program and select it. With this, we'll leave everything as it is. Partition scheme set to MBR, and for the other option, we'll leave it on BIOS or UEFI, where it says target system. We leave everything else as it is, including formatting the files in FAT32, and then we click on start. Once we click start, a warning will pop up. We'll click yes, select the first option, then click OK and accept. The installation will begin, which is the booting process, and the drive will become bootable with the new startup. After that, all we need to do is restart the computer. In my case, I'm going to do this on another computer on a post laptop so you can see roughly how it's done. We also need to enter the BIOS of our laptop. Afterwards, I'll explain to you how everything is going to work. Once the process is finished, the start box will be checked and all we have to do is click on close and we'll have completed the booting step. Now let's go to our laptop. Once we have everything ready, in this case I have the laptop here, we need the phone we're going to jailbreak and the USB drive with the bootable image we created using Rufus. We're going to connect it to our laptop and be very careful, pay close attention, because this process can vary between computers. In my case, I'm going to enter the BIOS of my computer, which is an Acer. In this case, I enter the BIOS by turning it on and pressing F2. You can look up a video on how to enter the BIOS on your computer if you have an HP or whatever brand you have, and find out how to boot without security, okay? How to disable secure boot and set it to UEFI mode, alright? That's what we're going to do on this computer. So I'm going to turn it on and press the F2 key. You can press it several times or just hold it down. It's going to ask me for a password because I set one. For you, it might open the BIOS directly, okay? I'll explain in a moment why I have a password set. It turns out that on my laptop, if I don't set a password, it won't let me disable, so to speak, secure boot, because we need to disable that for this process. So I'm going to go to the section that says boot. We'll move there using the arrow keys on our computer's keyboard. And we'll go all the way to the end where it says boot. And if you notice, I see security boot enable appear, okay? We need to go into that option and set it to disable. But sometimes, like in my case, it wouldn't let me do anything. The box was grayed out and I couldn't select or change it. How do we fix this? Well, we go to the section that says security and then to where it says create or select a new password, just like I'm showing you. If you don't have one set, diknab, or just enter one, you make it something simple like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and confirm it. In my case, 3 options appear because I already have one set, okay? We can change it or deactivate it whenever you want, but we need this for startup. Once you've set a password, I'm going to turn off the computer and go back into BIOS mode. Okay, I enter my password and now we go to the end where it says boot, and you'll notice that now I can change it. Previously, that option didn't appear for me. Just click on it and select disable, okay? A little window pops up, we select it and choose the disable option. Alright, with this disabled, we're ready to boot, but to make it even easier, as you can see, I get an option that says boot priority, okay? In this case, as you can see, USB and Windows appear. Here we can move these options up and down. In my case, it's with F6 and F5. If I press F6, this option moves up or down. It's important to put the one that says USB at the top. This can change depending on the device. On every computer, this option might be different, so my recommendation is to look up all of this in separate videos, okay? Look for how to set boot to UEFI mode on my HP or on my Asus, on my Acer, so you can get a general idea. This is, you need to have at least a small basic or more understanding to be able, but to get to what we need. Now where it says boot mode, we are going to select the UEFI mode. I don't recommend legacy mode. I recommend UEFI mode so that it can boot. Once all of this is checked with everything disabled as I showed you, we're going to go to exit and select save and exit. That is save and exit. Now, we're going to turn on our computer. And in this case, if you weren't able to set the USB drive as the first boot option, we're going to press the F9 or F10 key, which are, so to speak, the ones to enter boot mode, so you can tell the computer to start with Windows or to start from USB or to start from the hard drive. Alright, all of that. Since I already have it set to boot from USB by default, as you can see, it's already loading for me. If you did the same thing I did, the program should be loading for you as well. You don't have to do anything. Don't be alarmed if you see a bunch of words, letters, fail, okay. Don't get scared. This is completely normal. And when it finishes booting up, it will bring us to this little window, okay? It has a kind of blue logo. It's small, not very big, but it's easy to understand. I'll say it again, this only works for iOS 14.2. From that point on, it doesn't work anymore. Alright, now what we need to do once we're in this window is connect our phone via USB to the computer where we're doing the method. Once our phone is connected, usually the program will detect it. It will say that we have an iPhone 6s Plus and the version, okay? What we need to do is use the arrow keys on our keyboard to move to the side. So we can select the option that says start. With our phone already connected, we go directly to that option, click on start, and then click on next. Our phone will turn off. We don't need to unlock it or anything, just have it turned on. It will turn back on and will start up in DFU mode. Once it is recognized by the computer, keep in mind that this process varies depending on the phone, okay? The method I'm about to use works for the 6s Plus and earlier models. From the iPhone 7 onward, it changes. But as you can see, the program basically tells us exactly what we need to do and counts down for us. As you can see here, since we have the 6s, it tells us to hold down the power button and the home button for 4 seconds. After those 4 seconds, we release the power button and keep holding the home button, okay? For the number of seconds indicated below in the blue letters. If you don't understand, you can translate it so you can get an idea of how it works on your phones. So we're going to click next, press and hold the volume and home buttons, keep them pressed for the specified seconds, then release. And keep holding the home button for the number of seconds shown on the screen. As you can see, 5, 4. As soon as it reaches 0 and turns blue, we let go, okay? Immediately. Once you've done this, as you can see, it starts to recognize the phone and begins working with it. As you can see, it's already performing the jailbreak on our phone. It's already granting all the permissions and unlocking it. By the way, this method allows us to bypass our iPhone to skip the lock. So if you want a video on how to bypass, I have an application that I'll leave here in the description of this video. In the video I'll upload soon so that you can have the jailbreak installed and also bypass the iCloud account. And your phone will be able to turn off and on, make calls, save contacts, and keep iCloud. In other words, your phone will be just like new. This is for cases when you forget your password and don't know how to access it and you don't want to lose your device. That's it. Once our phone is turned on and finished, usually an error will appear in the little program on the laptop since the phone still has the lock pattern. But in this case, we're going to unlock our phone. Normally, we're going to enter our password, and as you can see, the program now appears. We're going to enter this permission code that it asks for. As you can see, Checkra1n now appears at the bottom. Right? The application is now showing up. If the application doesn't appear for you, what we need to do is go to our settings, enable a Wi-Fi network, connect to it, and then we're going to disable that Wi-Fi network, okay? We're going to turn off the Wi-Fi, then turn it back on, and that's it. Let's exit and check if the application is there. If the application still doesn't appear, press the power button once to turn off the screen and put it in standby mode. Then press the power button again to turn the screen back on, enter the code again, and check to see if Checkra1n is now there, okay? Because it needs to download the program and leave it on the phone. This method doesn't work if you restart your phone, okay? This Checkra1n isn't permanent. This jailbreak will be lost if you let your phone turn off, alright? But I'm making this video because I know it will be useful for other tutorials later on. So before we finish, let's install Cydia so you can see that Checkra1n is fully functional. We'll do the installation, wait for the download, and that's it. Once Cydia is installed, you exit, and as you can see, Cydia is fully functional. You can download and do whatever you want with this porn jailbreak. Alright guys, I hope you loved it. I hope you found it fascinating. Don't forget to give me a powerful like and comment down below in the comment box if it worked for you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bells so I can keep you up to date with these awesome videos. I'll say it again, I'll be uploading a video to do a bypass with an application that is, in quotes, almost unique from a company that told me, hey, try it out and if you like it, show it to your subscribers. And honestly, I've already tried it and it's amazing. The phone ends up completely like new. You can add your iCloud, synchronization works, you can make calls, you can turn it off, and data works. In other words, the phone is fully functional and without any issues, alright? You can format it, you can do whatever you want, and the phone will remain completely original. And well guys, don't forget to follow me on my social media, which will also be listed here in the description of this video. And as I say in all my videos, I don't like to keep you waiting, so until next time, bye bye.